Hello, folks. This is Kerry with 401k Dexters. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Tuesday afternoon. I keep coming up with these correlations between life and investing, and whenever it hits me as a pretty good thought, I try to think about putting it down on video so I can share it with others. A couple weeks ago, my son-in-law announced that he was selling his motorcycle. And my wife is elated. I'm pretty happy for him. I went through a stage in my adult life, probably mid-40s, where I wanted a motorcycle. And I didn't want a chopper, I wanted a crotch rocket. So shopped around, found a pretty good deal on a smaller Kawasaki. Went out and found a used one. Didn't pay too much for it. And I would say that in the time that I rode it, I definitely made my money's worth in the gas savings in my commute back and forth from home to work. And that's pretty much all I drove it because it was very economical. I decided to sell it shortly after riding to work one day and coming around a corner and coming upon traffic that was stopping rather rapidly. I headed towards the shoulder, as did the car in front of me, which caused me to hit both the front and back brakes. The bike slipped out from underneath me, and I ended up going to the hospital and getting 9 stitches in my leg. Of course, my wife was thankful that I wasn't hurt any worse. Tore up my armored jacket, scraped my helmet, tore up my gloves, but I was only 9 stitches for the worse. Shortly after that, I put it up for sale and sold it for a few $100s, so I made a little bit of money off of it. So when my son-in-law decided that he was going to sell his rather large Yamaha crotch rocket, I was thankful because he's a young father and the breadwinner for my daughter and grandson. And I had personal experience where, things could have gone worse and I could have hurt myself and put me in a situation where I wouldn't have been able to provide for my family as well. I got to thinking that kind of correlates with, at a certain point in your investment career, you look at being 100% stocks and think, I've made quite a bit of money in the stock market, and I need to shift from making to preserving. So while bonds and treasuries don't look good from a return perspective, they do look better than the volatility that stocks have. So I guess about the same time that I ended up getting my motorcycle, or maybe shortly thereafter that I sold it, I started moving funds, and it started in 15, 10, 25% increments to a more balanced portfolio, to where now we're sitting about 60% stocks and 40% bonds. That's a classic 60-40 portfolio that has done well over the ages. I had seen Rob Berger and maybe Josh Scanlon pull up Portfolio Visualizer. It's a website that you can go into and enter in all your different funds, or at least create something that represents a close representation of it, whether that's large cap, mid cap, international stocks, treasuries, bonds, and so forth. And I pulled up a longevity returns of the 60-40. I did find that it was interesting that you could change, if you change the rebalancing between annual, semi-annually, or quarterly, and it did affect the returns overall. But I'm comfortable with where that puts me at this stage in our retirement savings planning and the returns that will provide. So if I look back and think, I sold that motorcycle at a point where I needed to become more protective of my health and ensure my longevity. And that also correlated to my shift out of more stocks and into more bonds to protect the longevity of our savings. Thought I'd throw this together. Leave me a comment if you think it rings true with any of you out there on your savings career. Let me know what you think. Thanks. 401k Dexters. Out.